Okay, so today we've got the challenge of getting this caravan on this narrow drive, turn around. So to do that we're putting together a turntable. So use the motor mover, move it onto the turntable and spin it around. Easy as that. I'll show you what we've got so far. Okay, so the main part is a 4.5 ton collar. I've then got channel that sits on that initially. So this is the first stage. I'll show you each bit as we go along. So what I've done is I've squared it up, got it 75 centimetres to the outside of those rails all the way across. Got it perfectly square and then drilled a hole through. So that goes through, just a pilot hole through, and I've done one across each side. So we have 4 holes. I've popped screws in those, so after I've done each one I popped a screw in to make sure it didn't move. Recheck the square after every hole. So what we'll do now is pop these off. I'm going to open the top channel up to 10.5mm, the turntable to 8.5mm, and then tap it as M10. We'll then be able to bolt these 2 channels onto the turntable before we move on to the next part. You can see how smooth this thing is. If I just get Matthew just to take the left hand one and just turn it, not all the way. You can see how smooth that turntable is, and it's not actually greased fully yet on the bearings, and this should take 4.5 ton, which is way more than the Caravan. So the plan is it will now have cross pieces on it afterwards that the Caravan will actually reverse onto and spin it round. So we'll carry on. I'll get this drilled and tapped and show you once it's bolted in place. Okay, got a nice sharp 8.5mm drill, got it really sharp, so it's done a nice neat hole. Now I've got my super big tap wrench, M10 tap, a bit of ZX1 extra lube to keep it really neat while it goes through the hole. So I'll get this one tapped and we'll check that it looks alright before doing the rest. Okay, we're through. That's a nice smooth fit now. Lovely. Pitch this out. Clean the tap off. Clean the thread. Then the moment of truth, M10 bolt. Beautiful, nice solid fit. Perfect. On to the next 3, and I'll come back to you once I've done those. Okay, it's drilled and tapped now. So we're going to pick them back up, put them on, and see how it goes. Should be a bit easier to line up. Square over it. Risk cross-threading these. I need to find Reese nipple. Could you get? You know where my socket set is?
No. Where is it?
Okay. Could you just pass me my needle again? need to forfeit that. Clean it first. And there we go. Phase 1, the turntable. What we have is a gap here between this bush and that fence. So over this gap we'll be able to put the back of the caravan. So the turntable is going to go about here. Reverse the caravan on from that direction. Put it on, spin it round, spin the front round. So that's the plan. So that's the first part. All together, dead square, goes together lovely. The next part is the cross beams that the caravan will actually drive onto. They're a bit bigger, a bit heavier. I've got to dig those out, get them in position. They've got to be welded on to this. And then we've got stand-up legs and we've got casters. And that'll be it. So we'll get those out next and come back to you once we've got those ready. Okay, we've got the next pieces out ready. We just got to unpack them. All the steel came really nicely sealed up and packaged, pre-cut to length. So unpackage these now. In line. Okay, so that's basically how it's going to be. So the distance between those troughs is the wheelbase of the caravan. It actually makes it quite short in that direction. So bring it over, reverse the caravan into those grooves. So you just use the height of that's only about normal ramps, the large yellow ramps that you use. So it should motor move up there on ramps. On the front it will have locked steadies so that while you're reversing on it doesn't sink down or tip. And under each corner it will have a big heavyweight caster so that if it does tilt at all as it goes round, the caster just runs it on the ground and stabilises it so there's no tipping. That's it. So these now get welded, centred up and welded onto the bottom bars. And so welded on, we weld the front stands and the casters underneath, and it's finished. Right, we'll get welding, we'll come back to you. Just to show before I weld it, it's been marked up and all the edges have been ground and cleaned, so it's ready for welding. So it makes a nice strong neat weld. Come out about 1/4 inch each end overlap. So double checked on the axle length and we're getting about 1/4 inch each end. So that's quite handy. We can leave that to do the tacking. Get it all tacked up on top, turn it over, do a full weld on the bottom. And we'll come back to you.
That's kind of cool.
Sorry?
That's kind of cool.
Yeah. She's got a cool kind of dad. the other end now. Okay, so the first end's tacked. Tack welded it inside and out. Hopefully strong enough to allow us to turn it over. Going to mark up, clean up, tack weld the other end. Then when we've done that and turned it over, we'll come back to you. Because we're going to stand it up, move it back. And we'll just pull it back a bit, lift it up, pick it up, isn't it? Just lift it up gently, dig it in, stand it up. Right. That's strong enough to pick it up on. And then it's like Daddy. You got it? Here as it goes, and it can't nip you. Alright? And gently let it down.
Video, that's
Alright?
Yep.
Okay, so that's welded up now. Not the best, it's only a hobby welder. We had a couple of thermal overloads because it's doing a pretty big job here, but that's fully welded both sides on both ends. Next step will be to add the casters, the front stands, and the tow bar. We're going to tow hitch. We're going to put a hitch on it so we can actually move it round, and it will lift up and roll on the back casters. So we'll put a tow hitch on this front end. Just show you all those. Okay, so I've got a big, you can see from the size of my hand, big heavy duty caster. Each of these will take several hundred kilos. So that's going to get welded on the outside corner there. There'll be one on every corner. These, a bit like your bogey wheels on the front of the Caravan, but these are just going to be straight legs. They'll get welded on the front so that this will be the side that the Caravan drives onto. These just take the extra weight, so it makes sure it doesn't move while you first load the Caravan up. Then when you're ready to turn it, you pop the legs back up. And then in the middle, on here, that way up somewhere, or where a tow hitch, just to make it easy to move around. So when you've got a hitch on the front, casters on the back, you can just hitch it up and roll the whole thing round, move it where you need it, ready to turn the Caravan. So next job, which will be tomorrow now, will be casters, front legs, tow hitch, and that'll be it. Apart from cleaning up and painting, that'll be the job finished. So not bad, coming on quite nicely after the first day, and we'll carry on tomorrow. Okay, day 2. I'm going to put the casters and the towing bracket and the front legs on today, and that should be just about done. I'll test it out then before cleaning it up and painting it. But yeah, let's get those on, see how we go. go. I've marked up the position where the casters are going. I've inset them so that when they turn they won't be able to interfere with the front legs that are going on. So I've set them in about 4 centimetres, match them all so it all looks neat, just so it doesn't interfere with the front legs. So I'm going to just clean the paint off and then weld those on. I'll also clean up on the sides and weld the leg supports in place so I can get those on as well. Okay, casters are all on now, all welded, decent weld on each corner, should be enough. And take the front leg brackets now, get those marked out, clean up and weld those on. That will just leave the hitch to weld on the front then. So get these legs done, come back to you then. Okay, all casters welded, and now the first leg bracket welded on as well. I'll do the other one, then I'll lift it up and I'll do the hitch. But we're nearly there. Okay, those again's welded on. Same this end. Just cleaned up on the centre here for the tow hitch. That'll go on obviously the other way up. So I'm going to raise this end up now, raise it up a bit, get that welded on, and then I can turn it over, and I've just got to pop the legs in. Those are quite long at the moment, so these are big long legs. And turn it over, put the legs in, and then cut those down because I want those at a minimum size so they're not sticking up and risking catching on the caravan when it's not being used. So raise it up now, get the hitch on, and then I'll get it turned over, cut the legs down, and it's finished apart from clean up and painting. Very exciting. Okay, so we're almost done. Tow hitch is on now. Put that at the front there. That way we can tow it round and it should pivot and balance on the casters. Just to get it in position. When it's not being used, I'll unbolt the turntable part so I can keep that dry storage because of the bearings. But with the turntable off, the whole thing will run on the casters. So we can just slide it, pop it away under the caravan, out the way while we're not using it. So I'm going to get it turned over now, weld the tow hitch on the top edge, and cut the legs down to size, and that's it. Okay, so turn back over now. See the arms, see the hitch. Now I've got the dolly. Just going to pop that into the hitch and see if I can move it back on the back casters, just to move it around. If not, we'll have to pop the circle out, put the circle where we want it, and then move the frame onto it, just to test how movable it is.
Hold on. Sorry, just...
Dug itself
Sinking in
in.
a bit, isn't it? You ease that end, Matthew. Take a bit of weight. Oh, it rotates just far too easy, doesn't it? On the dolly, and then move on. Right, got really deep gravel, so just to keep it out from digging in the gravel, we just put some boards down. That should steady it while we move it into position. Can you
3.8 metres.
you want to do that one, Matthew? Don't put your foot there. Got it? Okay. Try and do it gently. This is going to come up over your head though. Right. Okay, should be alright. Bit of board. It's now in place. So it rolls nice and easy on the casters on the board using the dolly without having to take the end off. So I'll turn it around now and do the legs. It's the wrong way around, so I'll turn it around, do the legs, cut those down, and then I guess we can try it. We might need to move it across anyway to get the caravan in the right position to go on it, but I'll need to test how we moved it anyway. So okay, legs next. Just done the last weld. Now they'll be right way up on the top of the tow hitch. That's finished. Just the legs to cut down now, so I'm going to do those now, and that'll be it. Then we can test it. So there we are. Legs done nice and short. Casters on, and they don't touch the floor. So you can turn it without it touching the floor, but the legs will take any weight when the caravan first comes on. I'll do those nice and tight, and as the caravan drives on this side, the legs will take any weight without it going down on the casters or tipping over. We've just got those on this side, and this will be the front that the caravan drives on, and then the casters at the back save any tip. It should be reasonably balanced left to right, and won't take it probably all the way back, keeping a bit of nose weight on so it can't tip over backwards. Where it is now, I think it's got to come a little bit nearer the edge in order to get the distance. I'll measure the distance from the wheel centres on the caravan to the front of the tow hitch, because we've got to have that much distance between the wheel centres on here when it's straight to the wall, so that it will let the front go round. So I'll measure that distance now. It may need to move a bit to the right as we look at it now to get that distance, so I'll check that now and we'll be ready for our first test. So there you go, turned round, parked up where she should be now, other way around on the drive. Lot easier than we expected. Turned out to be really nice. We took it very slow and gentle for the first attempt, but absolutely easy once it was on. You probably saw that although I took the dolly out early and needed to move a bit more, even on this thick gravel, moved it again just by hand and it spun round. Absolutely easy, so really pleased, done a great job. And we have no worries about turning the van now. Okay, so here we are, finished product. Thinking it looks pretty smart. This is it upside down with the turntable separate. Turntables now numbered inside. Near to the holes 1, 2, 3 and 4. And the other side of this is numbered 2. Just wanted to show you the finished underside. So we'll pop the turntable across, spin it over, put it on and show you the absolute finish thing when it's all together. But yeah, I'm really pleased. Looks nice and certainly does the job. Okay, turn it over and show you it as the completed unit. Okay, so here we are, flipped over. Obviously it rained as soon as you did, fortunately. This paint's lovely, so it's worked a treat, kept the rain off it. You can see it's numbered up now, so each hole is numbered. I'll put the turntable out with the legs ready, so now it's flipped over. I'll pop it on, show you the final thing. So there we are, final turntable all put together, dropped on top, bolted in place, legs back on the front, still spins a treat. There you see, casters just touch on the floor if they need to. We've got a lump in the gravel here that just stabilises it, and that's it. Finished product. When you're not using it, pop these 4 bolts out, take it off the turntable, store the turntable in the dry, make sure it's greased. It's all waterproof now with a really good couple of coats of paint, and that's it. Job done, ready for the next time. Okay, hope you've enjoyed this, hope it's been useful. If you'd like one making, get in touch. Don't forget to like and subscribe, hit the bell, and see you next time. Bye bye now.